Hello, welcome to another program of Steps Beyond Time. And truly it is. It's not only beyond time, it's really a step into the world of Wonderland, as Reverend Betty Tatalajski calls where she lives all the time.
I love Wonderland.
That's because it's a lot better than Miseryland.
Yes, because I know Miseryland too. I lived there a long time.
I think, Betty, that you were, because you used to say, why was my life like that?
Yes.
And this is just my little thought about it. I thought about it this week. I thought it was part of what God did to make sure you would appreciate.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
If you haven't lived in hell, how would you
appreciate heaven? That's it.
It's so true.
It's so true.
It's so true. And then, when you get into heaven, into Wonderland, then you see other folks in situations that made yours look like a party.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all your own definition and your own assessment of what is going on with you. And here at this time, what we're assessing is a new world, isn't it? I mean, you turn on the TV and everybody, it's that time, that Spirit told us was going to happen, where governments will change and economies will change and all of this. And of course, we are living this right now, but still we are individually responsible for and changing our lives in it. So no one is doing anything to us, and we are not working under the law of a great, that everybody is involved in going to be doing the same thing, because we are individualized aspects of the creative source. As Jesus said, ye are gods, and as a man thinks it is. So when we start thinking these beautiful thoughts, the life becomes very beautiful. I know that sounds very, very trite, but
well, thank God it is.
But it is so real.
It's so real.
It is so real. And a few years ago, my sister and I were sitting in the living room drinking our coffee, and she just says to me, you have a lot more fun than I do. My sister, the Reverend Nora Allen, is a channel for White Eagle, a registered nurse, teaches metaphysics, all of these things, incredible Aries woman, And so she says to me, you just have more fun than I do. Why is that? And I said, well, I just say yes more than you do. I guess that's it. I just say yes. And she says, well, I don't know how that works, but I know that you do.
Mm-hmm.
The phone rang immediately, okay? I picked it up. I'm sitting there on one of the love seats facing her. I pick it up. It's a friend. And my friend says, Betty, I'm going out to Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand for the next 3 weeks. Please come and go with me. I'm leaving day after tomorrow. Well, I've done it on shorter notice than that. And I said, oh my God, I would just love to go with you. But I've already committed myself a year ago. That's why I don't do this anymore. I don't say, I always say stipulations, if. But no, I was on the calendar. My niece, who was going to college in Florida, was getting married. Now, she lived in Philly, but she's down there. And so it's a year since I told her would do it. Katrina is going to hit any minute, okay? Now, they thought it was going to go up Florida coast, and it goes over and hits New Orleans. And kind of wipes them out.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, any day now, she will tell me it's off. Didn't happen. And so here I am with this commitment from a year before. I'm going to be in Florida.
Instead of Indonesia.
Instead
now of Indonesia.
Yeah, and those lovely Far Eastern countries I love, you know. And I said, how I would love to go, but I'll tell you, I can't. I've already tried to get a reprieve, you know, I'm telling her. She says, oh yeah, we changed the venue, the hotel has been hit, the restaurant is wiped out.
This is a girl intending to get married.
She's an Aquarian too, just in case you want to know how stubborn she is, okay? Anyway, she says, oh, we got another venue, and da-da-da-da. So I handed Nora the phone, my sister the phone. And my friend said, Betty can't go. You can come. Why don't you come with me for the next 3 weeks, you know, and do this? And Nora just sat there. I knew, you know, what they were going to ask her, you know, and she just sat there stunned. And she said, all right, I will.
Oh, great.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now,
because you know what she was going through.
I knew everything she was going.
Yeah. The first thought was, I can't, I got it, I did all that stuff.
And she
you
knew I had gotten over that.
Yes.
I didn't
It didn't
do
matter.
that
You
anymore.
just, yes. Wow.
Because I know divine
Yes,
order.
yes.
And if the answer is peaceful,
Yeah.
always, like A Course in Miracles, choose the peaceful answer.
Yeah.
And when your heart is at rest,
Yeah.
and you know it's divine order. So I thought, will Nora allow this? I didn't say a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I just sat there. Now I knew that Nora would get the time off from the hospital, from St. Mary's.
Yeah.
I knew that it was going to work for her. It was only a test.
Yes. Was she going to choose it?
Was she going to choose
was
it?
she going to allow it?
Because it had already been chosen for her. Would she allow herself that gift?
Yes.
And then she said, I will. And of course, when she went to the hospital, sure, you know.
Everything worked out.
Everything fell in line.
Yeah.
She went, brought back wonderful pictures, had a great time.
That's good.
Learned to say yes.
Yes.
She is such an incredible Aries person, always helping other folks. You do this and I'll do this for you and everything. So for her, it was one of the biggest steps in the world for her to say yes for herself.
For herself.
And so that's how we found the difference between a 3-letter word and a 2-letter word. Because most of us are raised, you know, those terrible twos when we, first word we learn is no. And so we get stuck in the nose.
It's true.
I don't care how old we are.
Right.
So many people have not gotten beyond
That's right.
no.
Because you know what it is, Betty? It just occurred to me when you were saying that. It's how a child defines himself or herself. Independence. And what happens is the fight for independence, you carry it through your life. And and it becomes a trap.
Yes.
Not a circle of safety.
No.
It becomes a trap.
Obligations.
An obligation.
Obligations. No, I can't do this for myself. 3 weeks for myself.
Yeah.
Well, that began a whole new life for Nora, because now, you know, and she was traveling with me a lot.
Because you travel a lot.
Absolutely. And what a wonderful time we had. But that was such a turning point. How come I just noticed you have a lot more fun than I do. And I said, I just say yes. Because I know if I'm getting that invitation, it's from Spirit. You know, they don't put me in a position where I'm going to have heartburn, you know. No, the simple answer, just give the simple answer. If that simple answer is no, so be it. But no, it would have to come with a lot of complex.
Sure.
Yes is the simple answer. So this a beautiful woman down in Sierra Vista had a wonderful center, metaphysical center down there. It was a metaphysical spiritual retreat. Okay, she had some acres, and some friends would come to. This is so beautiful here. Why don't you start a retreat place? Well, this woman had been worked all of her life, hard, had children, the whole thing, and she was due for some rest. Okay? But it just was happening so often. But it's so perfect for a retreat. And so we said, how did you do it? She said, I didn't do it. All I said was, yes, we'll do it. Yes, I'll do it. And she said, and then I got out of the way. I was almost pushed out of the way, she said, because people heard about it and look, I want to do this. I want to build a yurt, a Mongolian yurt for your retreat center. I want to do this. And she said, so people ask me all the time, how did you do it? And I got to tell them. I just said yes and got out of the way. And I feel so much affinity for this incredible woman who made transition a few years ago. When Spirit told me that I was going to found a new world consciousness, we call it a religion, but you know, it's just a compilation of all religions, no religions, and it's called universality because all people ain't religious, you know, and that's okay. Because they're still as much a part of God as we are.
They have their path, and their path is as true and is leading to the same place as the ones who are pious.
And going to church
and
every
going to
morning.
church every morning.
Absolutely, because first of all, so much of the world is suffering now from religiosity.
Yeah.
Because we have deified the dogma of religion.
Over the Spirit.
Over the Spirit. Over the Spirit.
Yeah.
We have deified the dogma, forgotten the Spirit, that beautiful masters, beautiful teachers from all times and spaces have come to teach us.
Isn't it amazing, Betty, what people have done with the truth?
With the truth.
With the truth.
How we have limited, put it in a box. And say, it's only your bit of it is yours if you do this.
This, yes.
If you do this. Otherwise,
you're not in.
You're not in.
You're not in.
You're not in the game.
Yeah.
God didn't mean you.
Yeah.
And isn't that unfortunate? And so as we go into this new year and start this new 2013, we need to understand the Spirit that is going to be moving in and through the world now until this 2012 is finished immediately. And
Real soon.
Immediately. And we have seen governments tumbling like rocks in a tumbler, you know? And this is happening because of divine discontent. Now, of course, the world would have peace immediately if we listened to and paid attention to the great if we listened to the beautiful Western Messiah, the beautiful Jesus, when someone says to him, well, how will people know I'm your disciple? How will they know that I follow you? First, right away, they want to be different, you know, from their Jewish brothers and their family because they are Jewish people. Well, how will people know? Well, love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciple.
Absolutely. You know, Betty,
if you love one
if you love one
another.
another. Now, and Jesus did say that.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Now, let's take all these people on the planet and without knowing their names, and if we just got to watch them through a day, all right?
Right.
And we had the one thing, who loves, who doesn't.
Right.
All right? And this applies to everybody. This applies to people who are atheists at the time, people who are pious, people who have given up the world, and watch them go through their life that day, and the only consideration is, are they loving or are they not?
That's it.
That's it.
That's the only test. Love one another. By this all shall know that you are my disciple.
Absolutely.
And they have all said it.
Yes. Yes.
All said it.
Yes.
Muhammad said it. You know, but because he's speaking in a different language, in a different culture, and so we scrutinize other people's dress, their hair, you know, their language,
Betty.
and you don't fit.
Betty.
Jesus didn't mean you.
Betty, it just occurred to me when you were saying that. If we are going to forgive ourselves,
Yeah.
we should certainly forgive
Other folks.
our Muslim brethren who go over the edge. Why?
Absolutely.
They have done no more than with the teachings of Muhammad than Christians have done with the teachings of Jesus.
Absolutely.
All right? Christians have taken the Bible, gone to war, killed, tortured, and done everything in God's name.
And we still persist
in doing it and
in-
judge other people
Yes.
for not following what we believe to be the way.
You know, we can certainly understand those brave people who say, I'm not religious, I'm an atheist, I'm an agnostic, and so forth. You know, Benjamin Franklin was interesting too, because, you know, how the forefathers, you
Yeah.
know, have all been blanketed with this thought that they were all Christian.
Yeah.
Franklin said definitely he was not. He said, but just in case, remember this?
Yeah.
But just in case this is right, you know, that's the way it is, I want to hedge my bet. And so I will not say I'm an atheist, but anyway, he was an incredible Mason, an incredible man, right?
Well, you know what Thomas Jefferson said about the church? He said, throughout time, the priest has always been an enemy of liberty. Thomas Jefferson. And
Well-
these people, most of them, truly believed in God.
Absolutely.
They absolutely
But they believed
in the right of anybody.
in the spirit.
Yes.
In the
Spirit
spirit
of God.
of-
The
of-
only
of law.
objection they had was to dogma. And these people were surrounded by
They
dogma,
did
Betty.
not. You know, this America and this blessed country created on the foundation of brotherhood, humanity, and this by master souls.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And so they didn't deify the dogma.
No.
And
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 they
they were-
didn't say they were right and everybody else was wrong.
No.
The one thing they said was the government doesn't get to say who's right or wrong.
Right.
It's not the government's business
No.
to say what you believe or what you don't believe. That is true freedom.
we have freedom.
We
of,
have of religion.
and we have freedom from religion.
From religion.
From religion.
It's your choice. That's freedom.
And that's what those great men.
Yes.
And then it was just so. It excited the world, and so they went to France and did the same thing. You know, because a lot of the leadership was from France
Yeah.
anyway. But it is interesting if someone really wanted to open up, you know, the history of the creation of our country,
Yeah.
and see that they were all Masonic leaders and based on
The freedom.
freedom and
Freedom
justice
to
for all.
believe whatever you want to believe.
Right.
And you know, that's faith, Betty. And that's the faith that God has given us, that we're on this planet. All right? Now, your neighbor may tell you what to believe, and I'm sure
Yes.
that they generally do. People like to tell other people what to believe and what not to believe. All right? Irrespective of what you believe or they believe, there's a tendency of people to try and tell other people what to believe.
Well, I've been there, done that. You know, so yes, I understand
Yes,
that.
but God has put us here, all right, and let us figure that out for ourselves. That's the wonder of
It is.
of it all.
And not only let us, but we must.
We must.
We
and we must
must.
find our way back in our own time.
Yes. And the hard part is allowing people the freedom to
find
it
their way back.
Their way back, you know.
Without thinking that my way is their way and
Yeah.
their way is your way. It really doesn't.
And so this year, 2013, is going to be very interesting because this past year has been a 5. It's 2012, which is 5, okay?
Okay.
It means freedom. Well, we have seen the battle for freedom this whole year, have we not? And we're still contemplating going into another couple of countries and and changing them around too.
Making them free.
Making them free. But at the expense of a lot, of our own education system, medical system, and so forth. Anyway, it's interesting. But 2013 is going to be interesting. It's a 6 year. It's going to be 6. 2, 0, 1, 3.
Okay. All right.
3. That means heart.
Oh.
It means
good.
home, health, and heart.
Good.
And helping. Okay.
Good.
People whose destiny number is a 6, according to the day they're born, tend to have sensitive hearts. They like to be around the hearth and home.
Okay.
And help. It's called the 3 H's. Health, hearth, home, and there's a 4th one, helping, okay? So it's possible, since this year we demolished a lot of countries, that the next year the people of heart will move back into their heart. I know that our hearts are touched right now, still aching for our brothers and sisters and families and relatives on the East Coast.
Sure.
We're still hurting from the people in New Orleans,
For what they went through.
And now the West Coast is getting some flooding too, because times are changing. And so I think we will have more opportunity to be on our knees and to access the heart, because it is going to be a 6 year. So to disappoint all the folks who want to see Armageddon happen about the 21st in a few days, I'm sorry you're going to be disappointed, but
Betty,
we're not going with you.
Betty, they were disappointed in the year 2000.
Oh, they're still aching. They have heartburn plenty, But, when Spirit told me that I was going to do this, and I said, well, I didn't say anything because I thought they had the wrong person.
That's right.
I told you that I was in a dark room and and I said, I wonder who's supposed to be sitting in this room in my place. And so when they told me again, verified it the next day, and they said you'll do it by teaching and travel and all of this. But mostly what they said was, Sanat Kumara said, Jesus, Moses, what they said was, we're going to do it. Let us do it. Let us do it. So it was just like this other one, say yes, Nora's.
Yes.
Say yes and get out of the way.
Betty, here we are on the verge of I really believe, a new age, all right?
Oh, it is.
And 2012, I think, is significant in the sense that it marks that an old age is passing.
Yes.
All right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, it has significance in that way.
We knew that the birthing was going to be difficult, bloody and difficult.
And the changes aren't over. All right?
Oh.
But what you just said about 2013, I know that humanity is battered in a way that it's uncertain now.
Right.
Okay? And
we're not so rigid.
Yes. We've been softened up.
We've been very rigid. We knew exactly
what was right and wrong.
All the people were wrong over here.
And now the uncertainty has entered into humanity's heart ideologically. All right, perhaps the religious people are still trying to hold on to their little rule. But I think even there, Betty, when you say that the heart is going to come to the forefront, I think we're ready.
It's the year of the heart, and then the next year, of course, would be 7, which is Spirit.
Wow.
Spirit is going to show us a few things. God bless us. Thank you, friends.
We'll see you there.
God bless.
Thank you, Betty. That was wonderful.